If you are not making any noticeable progress in your actual flexibility, then here is something you can try. We are going to dive into a special way to actually measurably improve your flexibility. We'll go over what it is and exactly how it works to gradually deepen your flexibility over time. So if you have done yoga for any length of time, you might have noticed that your flexibility is only really improving at a snail's pace. Like sure, it's getting better, but are you actually any closer to really touching your toes or maybe not straining as much when you move from yoga pose to yoga pose? Well, then something called the 90-second rule may help. And with this, each time when you come down to sit on the yoga mat, you'll actually physically notice that your flexibility is gradually improving. However, there is something important to understand, and this is really the fault of how most yoga classes are structured. And perhaps you've been here before. Let's say the teacher is guiding you through a specific pose, your forward fold, and they're giving really good cues. They're saying lengthen through your spine and engage your core and eye gaze forward. And then you start to feel something amazing happen, an actual release through your lower back and your hamstrings. But then just as you're starting to feel that release happen, it's time to abandon it completely and then move on to the next pose. This is because a yoga class is structured to get a lot of poses within the yoga class. This means that you end up generally missing your golden opportunity to make strides in the area that you need the most. So let's dive into the 90-second rule. We'll go over how it works and some common pitfalls to avoid. We're going to take this pose right here, your typical forehead to knee pose. It's just your basic hamstring stretch. The 90-second rule is simple. You have to hold your stretch for a minimum of 90 seconds to actually allow your muscles to truly release. So right about here is as far as I can actually go. And I will hold the stretch here and explain exactly how this works. You see, there are two neurological forces at play. One that actually resists the stretch in our muscles, and the other that wants to allow the stretch to happen. The problem is that it takes about 90 seconds for that first initial neurological force to subside, so the one wanting to allow the stretch can actually happen. And if you notice, I'm actually holding the stretch. I'm not bouncing up and down. I'm not taking my body completely out of the stretch because that's going to reset that magical 90-second timer. And after a bit from holding from about 90 seconds, you'll notice that all of a sudden you can come deeper, deeper, and deeper because that neurological force there is actually now allowing a deeper stretch to take place. And that is the point where we'll actually make those strides in our flexibility. It's like our muscles go, oh, hey, we're stretching. Okay, let's actually allow this thing to happen. And you might be saying, well, duh, Landon, if you hold your stretches for longer, yeah, you'll be more flexible. And sure, this is mostly true, but again, here are the real takeaways from this video. Number one, stretch to the point where you start to feel the stretch pretty good. Number two, hold right here for about 90 seconds, no bouncing, no coming out of the pose. And then three, after that about 90-second mark, you'll notice that you can actually deepen even more. And then this is where you'll start to want to hold for even longer and then really make those strides in your flexibility. And there are dozens more of these tips in my free guidebook, Yoga Flexibility, a guidebook for people who aren't flexible. You can access that in the first pinned comment below, and I'll send it right to your inbox. Take care for now, and I'll see you in a class soon.